it's almost easier to do the ARS than to do the alpha decompress. And I think it is because it's first thing in the morning. You do it for the chaos, but by end of the workday as a business owner running companies, at the end of the day, you're kind of like, oh crap, it's 4 or 5, 6, 7 o'clock, whatever it is. I want to rush home and see the family, the kids, or I have a dinner or something else is going on. And men forget to decompress.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the TPM Show. Once again, we are joined by Christopher Hansen. I asked him to stick around. If you were here with us for the previous episode, you got a little background on Chris. But if you've seen other episodes, you have as well. Chris is a fundamental member of the TPM team, and he also runs one of our advisor programs. So if you ever get interested in the programs that we offer here at TPM, the coaching services, the events, Chris might be one of the guys that you talk to just to give you some information in the lowdown. Chris, thanks for being here, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's nice to be back once again.
It is. So I know we're going to do some questions from the app today and just trying to answer the guys' questions as we go through. I'm interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, for sure. I love doing these, by the way.
I do too because they're spontaneous. There's no prep for them. That's the best way I like to do it, so people get the real deal, right? It's one of the things a lot of guys at events say is, wow, you guys are exactly the way you appear to be on the podcast, the shows, or anything else that we do. We're husbands, we're fathers, we're regular dudes that you're going to find at a barbecue. There's just some areas of life that we've figured out better than others.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely on the journey of figuring things out, for sure.
Yeah. Journey is the destination.
Yeah. Well, so that kind of leads us into this question. I think this is a really, really cool question. Might be a challenging one even to discuss.
Okay.
So this is from Aaron, came out of the TPM app. And he said, I thought it would be interesting for the owners and coaches of the program at TPM to discuss which parts of the program you struggle to implement the most in your real lives.
Interesting. Okay. So this is really nuanced for me because we have two entry-level programs, really. So we have the Activation Method, which is a program for relationships. We have Ascension Blueprint, which is kind of for men who are a little stuck in life, who are unsure what the next thing is. The relationship at this time isn't the worst thing for them. So we have these two entry points coming in. So there's two programs. We also have Navigate. So Navigate is for non-business owners. We do that just to help more men. We have thousands of men that reach out that say, hey, you guys only work with business owners and CEOs. I could use this help too. So we have the Navigate program. We also have the Rekindling Connection, which is like an intro program that we've offered in the past. Then we have the Brotherhood, which is our 1-year mastermind for men that are graduates that get invited. We have the Inner Circle, which is a higher level invite-only group, a very small elite group of men that are coming through. And we have one-on-one coaching and a number of other things like the Academy that are coming out. So I say all that because which one of which program is the hardest. Sure. I know Aaron. I know Aaron really well. I actually co-led his Alpha Reset.
Okay.
So he did his Alpha Reset in the UK with Chris Andreessen, who's now one of our coaches as well.
Nice. They were in the reset together?
They were in the exact same reset. And yeah, Chris now runs, as you know, our Navigate program. Yep. He's one of the lead coaches there. So this was 5 years ago.
Wow. That
they went through. So it's great to see these guys both being still active in the community, giving back and seeing their journeys. Let's make the assumption that is the Activation Method, because that's the first program that Aaron went through. And Aaron's been a huge role model for other men. Talk about a lighthouse. We describe a lighthouse as somebody who always stays on, doesn't turn off when it's dark, and really shines a light for other men, right? Mm-hmm. Imperfectly. So always contributing and being back. So shout out to Aaron. I know he wouldn't say that his journey has been perfect or anything about himself is perfect. He's a very humble man, but a very powerful man in the sense that he's always giving back and always striving for more. So with that preamble, right? It's a long preamble, but I want to make sure the guys know that what program I'm picking out of. So the activation method, if I look at my life today, the hardest one for me to implement has been, drumroll, I would say the Alpha Rise and Shine. I'd say it's the Alpha Rise and Shine right now. Now I'm getting back into my Alpha Rise and Shine, and you and I are connecting to work out. You now live in Sisters, and we're working out 4 to 5 days a week on average, hitting the weights, which I love. But the morning routines previously, because I was running so many different programs within TPM. So the movement, we call TPM the movement, as you know, I think it's my life legacy. It's my passion. It's my calling to be here. So a lot of times I get really drawn in. I wake up very passionate about getting after it, right? I used to have this very extensive, when I was a CEO, morning routine that I would do. And I've kind of pushed that back for a season. That's what I told myself. I'm going to push this back for a season. And what I find myself, or I did find myself, because I haven't done it recently, is saying, hey, I'll do my ARS next week. And 1 week becomes a month, becomes a year type thing, intermittently. I think I have the triad down pat. If I were to give myself one more mark, and then I'm going to pass the mic to you, and I'll expand on all these and why I think I've let them down. The other one that I can miss at times within the program, I would say is an aspect of the program that we teach men that fundamentally allows them to, after an argument, come back quickly and clean it up. And the reason I struggle with that one is because sometimes I don't want to clean it up. The teenager inside of me is strong, man. The teenager is so much so my wife, because she knows what we do. My wife coaches women, right? She's got her own women's coaching company. She's heard me talk about this for 10 years now at this point, roughly. And she'll even look at me and go, you know what to do. And that'll set me off a little bit more. I'm like, oh, really? You're expecting me to clean it up because you know I have the skills to do so? I'm not going to do it. I'm not saying it's the right thing, but I recognize it at the time. I know what I'm doing, and I'm choosing not to execute on that. Not for like a strategic reason as much as just being bullheaded.
Yeah. Sometimes you just want to be mad.
Yeah.
You know?
You got to have all the flavors of the world, man. All the emotions.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I've always, when I speak to Kristen, my wife, about our relationship, I always talk about we're going to have arguments. Things are going to blow up. Like there are things that are going to happen. And I think what's a really good marker of a good relationship is how quickly things can come back together.
Yes.
Right. So I am very aware of, hey, all right, this is going to happen. What are the skills that are required to come back together? And then how quickly can I execute them? And so many times I have done that exact same thing of just like, I go down the path, one, of writing stories of, hey, do I actually want to bring this back together? Do I actually want to be in this relationship? Like I can go down this whole long path and get lost in that like very quickly. I think you and I have talked about some of the stuff that, I've dealt with in my relationship since I've been here.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate your help with.
Absolutely.
It was very, very helpful. But there is this point in it for me where I see myself doing it and I'm kind of observing and I'm just like, oh, this is the teenager in me that wants to rebel, wants to push back, and wants to be angry, right?
Yeah.
There's like an aspect of me that maybe hasn't had the space to be angry.
Yeah.
And so I resonate with that for sure.
For me, it doesn't happen often, right? But this is an area I talk about it often with the other coaches or when I'm coaching a coach or whatever else I'm doing, because I want people to understand that, and by no means am I perfect. And sometimes I make poor choices, and I make poor choices deliberately, right? But sometimes holding back just makes me feel good. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I think my wife actually respects it sometimes when I give her that kind of pushback or I go into that mode. there used to be a part of me that would look at that and go, why do I do that? And kind of reflect on that. And I think I'm in a stage of my development where I don't feel the need to reflect on all those aspects and move forward. Now, the ARS, the Alpha Rise and Shine, that's something I would like to get back in. I have been doing, right? I mean, I've got a sauna, I've got a cold plunge, I've got a shift wave, I've got all the toys. The toys are easy to buy.
Yeah.
You got to use them though, right?
Right.
And the journaling. I remember early days of TPM, before TPM, I had my own coaching company and I was doing a lot of very high-end one-on-one coaching. And I had like a 2-hour morning routine. I created the lifestyle so I could do that. And I remember other coaches talking to them like, hey, what's your morning routine? Because that was kind of a newer thing back then that people were just starting to talk about. And I listed it out because I had it all on a spreadsheet. And I just saw people's faces drop like, you do all that? And I did, and I was really into it. So what I've done now is I have an abbreviated version of the AR, what we call now the Alpha Rise and Shine, and which isn't just a morning routine. It's a very specific type. And then we have a longer full one. And either way, you should get something in there. And it definitely sets you up for success. I can tell that I'm more anxious when I don't do the morning routine. By the end of the day, I'm less fulfilled when I don't do the morning routine. Conversely, the same thing could be said about the decompression, right? It's almost easier to do the ARS than to do the alpha decompress. At least it is for me. And I think it is because it's first thing in the morning. You do it for the chaos, but by end of the workday as a business owner running companies, at the end of the day, you're kind of like, oh crap, it's 4 or 5, 6, 7 o'clock, whatever it is. I want to rush home and see the family, the kids, or I have a dinner or something else is going on. And men forget to decompress.
Yeah.
I have some pretty good triggers that allow me to decompress at this point. That's almost automatic for me because I have so many reps with that. And the morning routine can be, but the morning routine, or we'll call the Alpha Rise and Shine, there's specific components of that require time that you can't trigger into.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the decompress is one that I feel like I have pretty dialed. Typically if I'm going from work mode into family mode, my wife will call me out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm coming in the house and I've got, if I'm not grounded, I'm not settled into the space, like she's going to point it out. So it's been really easy for me to like, when I walk through that door, like I know that I'm a different person. I'm coming in as a CFO and like, we're just going to go have fun as a family and as a husband and all of that. But I struggle with the ARS. I was an East Coast guy before I moved out to the West Coast, 3-hour time difference. So, my first meetings in the morning on the East Coast were 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to get up, do my ARS, be prepped. And like, I'm dialed by 9.
Yeah.
But out here, 6 a.m. Right. So it's like, okay, this is a completely different ballgame, of having to get up at, 4:30 and then, struggling to just get my day started without starting with caffeine. Right.
Yeah.
And I've gotten into that habit here of like, first thing in the morning, it's caffeine and email.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro. Yeah.
I think there's seasons for everything, right? And the key is being honest with yourself with the seasons you're in. Like I've set seasons. So I took over in 2020 TPM's marketing, or 2021. Man, it was later, 2021. Shoot. Anyway, I took over TPM's marketing, which I'd not planned on doing. We got rid of the team and I had to do it. So it was a very stressful thing because we can't help men unless they know about us.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, I'll do this to the team. I'll take this over. I'll take this on. But I was also coaching. I was doing one-on-one coaching. I was running the events. I was doing a lot of other things. And I was doing program design. And I sat in the visionary seat. There was a lot on my plate. And it was very stressful, which is not something something that I'm very accustomed to. But this was a little bit extra. And I was like, okay, I'll do this for a quarter. That quarter turned into 6 months. That 6 months turned into a year, which turned into 2 years, right? And it's gotten to the point where I got on a call with our CEO and Tim, my business partner, and I go, hey, I told you guys I'd do this for a quarter. It's been 2 years. I'm done. So this is changing now. And our CEO goes, yep, sure. Until you decide to take on another project. right? Because you're just going to jump back in. Because I love what we do so much. I care at a high level that it's hard for me to see the ball get dropped, a man not get served, because I know what it means. Like not every week, at least every other week, a man reaches out and says, hey, you saved my life or you saved my family. I don't take that lightly. And nobody in our team does.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like the story I told myself was, hey, if getting up at 4:30, having a cup of coffee and getting after it saves a man's family, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But at what cost?
Right.
Right. So that's the story that I play back and forth in my mind.
Yeah.
When I think about our other coaches and Tim, my business partner here within TPM, as I was answering my question, listening to yours, I was thinking, is there commonality across all the coaches? And the answer is probably no, right? When I think of different coaches, and they're all extremely experienced, they're experts in their fields. I would say the area that my guess is that none of them slip on is the hidden motives technique, the clean slate method. Some of them maybe the live like a king system.
Yeah.
Some of them, it's going to be conflict. I think some of them go away from conflict, and that's an area we talk about, and boundaries would be another. Everyone's going to be a little bit different in what they're working on. And that's what makes it beautiful, I think. I think all of us are on our own journeys.
Yeah.
And I think all the coaches would admit the areas that they struggle in.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the biggest thing is being able to just be honest with yourself. If you're going to step into the space of leading men, like you've got to be honest with yourself and recognize that. I have a theory that you don't actually know something until you've taught to someone else. Like it's just that is fundamentally part of learning, is that you get to pass the baton of knowledge over, and at that point you know it.
I want to buy you a gift. Look, if your marriage is struggling, and let's be real, every marriage struggles at some point, but yours is struggling where you've lost that love, admiration, respect, I want to help you. I want to buy you a copy of the book that I wrote, A Man's Guide on How to Save Your Marriage Without Talking About It. In here, I've distilled over 8 years of programs that we've developed at TPM to help men just like you save their marriages without talking about it. There's no fluff, no BS. It's an action plan that you can start using today to actually save your marriage and bring that love and respect back into your family, back into your house. You deserve it. Look, all I ask is you pay the postage, you pay the shipping, I'll buy the book for you. That way you can take massive action today. Click the link or find it in the bio and get your copy now.
And yeah, I think every one of our coaches, everybody within TPM is in their own, journey of that exact thing.
Yeah. So I was with, we had a leadership meeting. So, there were 5 or 6 of us at this time. We all showed up to a house, and one of the coaches was on the leadership team, and he came in and he made up some story. All of a sudden there's tension in the room, right? Like we're all in the same goal, but there's some tension. Finally the coach, I can't remember exactly how it all transpired. Something was said, it was clear that there was an issue. And this coach said, you know what? I made up a story that I wasn't wanted here and that I don't belong. And that, that reminded me of basically being a kid and like people ostracizing me from my friend groups. And then he started crying. He's like, this all came up for me again. He's perfectly imperfect in the sense that he's having these things come up, but look how he moved through them. And I can tell you what, I was much closer to him after that experience, and him sharing, but his initial trigger he made up a story like, oh, these guys actually don't really want me here. They don't respect my opinion. They're high level coaches. Maybe I'm not as good a coach as I think I am. All of these stories, right? Imposter syndrome, like all of us can suffer from at times in different areas of our life.
Yeah.
So that's an area he's working on, right? And he's been coaching for a very long time.
Yeah.
We're all on the journey of sharpening the saw, right? Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Great book. I think its 7th habit is sharpen the saw. And it's kind of like sharpening, if you give me 2 hours to cut down a tree, then I'll sharpen the saw for the first 90 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the smart thing. And we're all working on ourselves. Mine's ebbs and flows. We have 5 territories that we initially start off with in TPM, as you know, Chris. So we have self, right? Who you are inside, the way you relate to yourself, how you fill your cup. We have health, which is not just your physical appearance, but how is your body functioning? What's your energy level like? We have wealth, which is a little bit more abundance or spirituality. It's different for each guy. Some men, it's their relationship with their maker, their God. For some men, it's abundance in the world. Some people, it's actual wealth, like financially. Yeah. For some, it's energy. Like how much energy do you have during the day? Like what's your wealth category? And of course, there's relationships. We talk about that most on this podcast. At least we have been as the last couple of years. And then we also have business. Now, business is the easy one for most of our guys because we deal with business owners, right? Mm-hmm. We're an elite men's coaching company dealing with businessmen and executives. Now, we opened up Navigate, as I talked about earlier, for non-business owners, which I'm very glad we did. Mm-hmm. It's a different community, but the business owners want their staff to enjoy all the rewards they're getting. Yeah. And so when you look at this whole metric of these people coming in, right? We all are struggling on these journeys. We all have different areas that ebb and flow. So at some points, I'm working on myself. That area is a little bit down. Some points it's health, right? And maybe it's aesthetics, right? Like, oh crap, I was talking to you yesterday. I was like, man, gosh, I want to work out. I want to lose weight, but I don't know if I want to do it that badly. Sure. I don't know if I really care that much. Yeah. I feel like I do really well in the wealth category, business, relationships. So for, the areas that I constantly go back and forth on for me is self and health. Those are kind of the ones that I have to check in on myself. And for another coach, it's totally different, right? For him, he's working on his wealth and his relationships area. Another one is business. So we're all working on it, but I think the commonality is just that. We're all striving to get better.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest one for me, and that I've learned so much since I've moved out here, is just doing things for myself, like actually taking time for me.
Yeah,
because it's so easy for me to spend time with my wife, and my wife is my best friend. I love spending time with her, but I'll get to a point in the time that I spend with her that like it starts to become more clear to me. I'm like, oh, I'm actually like, I need to go be by myself for a while. I need to go do something that is just for me.
Yeah.
I think for the longest time I felt guilty doing things by myself. I'd go off by myself and I should have my kids with me. I should be making memories with them and like all of these stories. And I've really had to like force myself to be okay with that and to sort of like fill my cup. And I've found universally, the more that I do that, the more that life just kind of opens up for me. Everything else gets easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that's the piece that has been the biggest struggle for me that I've been working on.
I love it, man. I think it's for a lot of guys. Quick question for you is, has that piece gotten better after your Alpha Reset?
Yeah. So the Alpha Reset gave me the opportunity to release a lot of stories. And I came back from my Alpha Reset a much more confident version of myself. I felt more connected to just me. I felt like I was less influenced by other people's stories.
Yeah.
And yeah, the things that other people are kind of putting on me. It was like night and day, the ability to just go like, hey, no, that's not for me. I know me.
Yeah.
And I can anchor to that.
Yeah. Most common thing, not the most common, probably the second most. Most people say, I wish I would have done this before. But a lot of the second, third most common thing I think I hear is, I'm seeing the man I knew I could have become, or I'm now seeing the man in the mirror I knew I was. I'm meeting him again. And some guys are like, oh, there's the 20-year-old version of me fast forwarded into the 40-year-old wisdom.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I think most men feel like they've lost themselves at some point in their life.
Yeah.
They had a taste of who they were kind of very authentically, and then the fullest expression, and then whatever. We all as men tend to disconnect from that. Yeah. And I can tell you there's nothing, I've never experienced anything better myself than being able to reconnect with that person at the age that I am now with that wisdom. It was like the greatest gift ever, right? It's like a dream come true, because for a long time it felt like that wasn't possible.
It's so awesome seeing the men go through that, man. I mean, we've seen men, this is going to sound, people aren't going to believe me, but I'll say it anyway because it's true. We've seen men's skin color change, their eye color change. That's rare, but I've seen it happen a number of times. Almost every man looks demonstrably younger when they walk out of the alpha reset because the stress and bullshit that life puts on you just melts away. And they realize, wait a minute, I don't have to carry all this baggage.
Yeah.
They don't even realize they have the baggage. It's kind of like when someone loses weight. I used to do this in my gym when I used to own a gym. I had a guy who lost 25 pounds and was just bitching and moaning, right? About, can't even remember what it was. So I pulled his trainer over. I go, here, give him 25 pounds and have him walk around with it again. He was complaining about his physicality or what have you. And so they made him took him out down to the track. It was in Santa Barbara. So people that know Santa Barbara City College is exactly where they did. Took him to the track, had him walk around the track holding a 20, they're yellow plates. I had really cool colored plates, 25-pound weight plate, and then strapped it to him and had him walk up the stadium stairs. And the guy could barely make it. And the guy goes, this is what you were carrying around every day for over a decade, right? Now I want you to start looking positively towards the progress you're making, not negative, and just strip that away.
Yeah, for sure. And I can attest to the men that I went through the alpha reset with. I speak to them. We have a group conversation going that, on a daily basis, we're connecting. The lives that have changed just in that small group of people is unbelievable. But they do. They look different.
Yeah.
Their faces look different. They're more vibrant. They look younger. Their eyes change. Like I always say, you can see a man's soul in his eyes.
Yeah.
Right. And then you see that soul like coming through at the end of the reset.
Make me want to stare at you now.
Right. And you can see it. Yeah. You can see it. And the first thing my wife said to me when I walked through the front door, she was like, "Oh shit, you look younger."
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, "You look young and light."
It's funny because so I'm running the Alpha Reset. You'll be assisting there coming up. It'll be next week from when we're this coming week from when we're recording this. And every time a guy asks a question, there's always hesitation, right? I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the fill in the blank. This isn't the right time to do it. Is usually the most common thing that we hear from the men. And I always tell them, like, look, it'll never be a good time. Just show up. And if you don't believe me, post in the app, and hundreds of men that have been through this program will tell you the same thing.
And there's no question.
It's zero question. So you don't have to believe me, right? I obviously, people think like I'm saying this because I have a stake in it. I don't. I get paid a salary regardless of anybody shows up or not. I'm doing this because I love it. But if you don't believe me for some reason, you have guys that are out, hundreds and hundreds of guys that are out there that have no skin in the game. They're just going to tell you their honest reviews. They don't have to say it in front of me. You can privately message them. They'll get in front of camera and give testimonials. Ask those guys. Ask them about their experience. Not only theirs, but the other men that they were with. And they'll tell you everybody has different experiences, but the continuity across the board is transformational.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I would say to anybody that's listening to this, if you have stories coming up that are telling you to put this off or now's not the time or whatever, just invest in yourself. Like, let that go and just take a step forward and just invest in yourself. I mean, it's like, I always tell people that every dollar that they invest in themselves, they get back 10x. And there's not a better investment in you than stepping in and doing this work on yourself.
100%, man. I mean, I'm literally living my dream.
Yeah.
Like literally living my dream. And it's because I've invested myself for so friggin' long. I started at a very young age. I was either fortunate, desperate, or, coincidence came along. And I, listening to personal and business cassette tapes in my dad's car. My parents separated when I was 4, divorced when I was 5. So when it was my dad, I was listening to business. I was listening to Jim Rohn and things like that. Luckily, he was interested in that stuff. So yeah, man, I've been doing this for a long ride. I got a question for you. I know we didn't plan on talking about any of this, which is what I love about these conversations.
Yeah.
So as an advisor, I know that these guys can't get into the Alpha Reset that we're going to be doing. This is going to be airing later. If there's a guy in the movement, And maybe we can even, I don't even know if we offer this to men outside of the movement who are just interested, but I know we have an alpha reset that we just opened, or we opened up recently in the UK coming up. I think it's coming up in September.
It is.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Is it possible for men to get into that one?
Yeah. I mean, if somebody's listening to this and there's a number of ways that I'll let you go over the number of ways that people can get in touch with us. Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Okay. So people that are listening to this is not scripted. We have roughly 36 people that work at TPM in the movement. And so I'm not attached. I'm not involved in that side of the movement because I'm working on so much program design, coaching. I'm still involved with the marketing team. So I'm guessing the best thing for them to do would be email vip@thepowerfulman.com.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a number of ways they can get a hold of us. Everybody has email. So to email vip@thepowerfulman.com is perfect. If somebody listening to this is in the TPM app, they can message me directly.
Okay.
My name's Christopher Hansen. I'm in the app. Yeah, I mean, I think those are probably the two easiest ways.
Okay, perfect. We'll just leave it at that. Keep it two simple ways for men to do it. Yeah, guys, my life doesn't change at all if you attend or not attend, but yours will. That's why I like to tell guys, it's just the reality of it. I don't go from eating top ramen to all of a sudden eating steaks. My life literally does not change, but I promise you your life will. If you're being called or interested in the Alpha Reset, and look, don't take my word for it. Don't take Chris's word for it. Ask any guy that's been through the experience. And I think you're gonna get the same thing over and over again from the men. Awesome, man. Chris, I love this question. It's so funny because I know Aaron. I never call him Aaron. So I want to call him by the name I call him by, but that'll definitely identify him. Okay. I call him by his last name. So we can't do that. But Aaron, thanks so much for the question, brother. And I appreciate, Aaron, everything you've been doing for the movement, for yourself, for your family. It's awesome to see your growth and that you continue to give back to other men. And it's one of the things that makes TPM so great is once men get further down the road, they turn around and guide the men behind them. So there's a constant group. I mean, imagine a constant group of elite men. These guys are business owners, high functioning executives. They're all smart. They're all have great values because they wouldn't be here trying to save their marriages or themselves. These are all great guys. And then they turn around and try to better each other. So the competition becomes, how can I lift up the men around me? And I don't know if another environment like that exists. Maybe it does. I'd sure like to know about it if it did, but it's just a very special thing. And so Aaron plays a very special role, as you do, Chris. So thank you so much for all you're doing.
Yeah, thank you, Doug.
You got it, buddy. Guys, as we always say, in the moment of insight, take massive action. I love these conversations. I love to know if you like these. These are unscripted. We're grabbing questions that you guys throw out. I know we go all over the place, so hopefully it's interesting, but it will really help me out to know if, hey, is this useful to you, right? That's the reason I do this. So I'm coming here taking time away from my family. Colton, our producer, comes in to the ranch. Chris is leaving his family so that we can provide this for you. So I really want to hear from you. And wherever you're watching this or listening to us, if you subscribe or share it with another dude, that would mean a lot to me because we're doing this to get the information out there. We call TPM a movement because we believe it is. It's a movement of men who are redefining what it means to be a man, a masculine man. Getting away from, quote, toxic masculinity. That's not what we're about. We want to redefine what it means to be a real man with having masculine tendencies and being a good thing, a protector, a provider, somebody who has emotions, someone who loves, a lover, someone who wants a partner, but also wants intimacy and closeness, right? We want the whole thing. We want all the colors in the crayon box, so to speak. And we need your help to rewrite that story. Men have been getting a bad rap for a long time. And there's so many good men like Chris, like yourself, that are out there really doing great things, raising their families and doing the absolute best they can. Do we screw up? Absolutely. I screw up a lot. But I certainly try my best not to, and I try to clean it up each and every time that I do. And I'm going to guess you're probably one of those guys too. And if you are, we'd invite you to join the movement. You don't have to buy a program or anything like that, but you do have to walk the walk, and you have to do the work on yourself. That's the only requirement. Be a good man, right? Be a great man and do the work. That's all that's required at TPM. We'd love to have you join our tribe. And if you don't want to, just do the work somewhere else and do the work on yourself. We've put over 1,000 of these episodes out there. We'll keep doing it more and more. But it really means a lot to me personally if you could leave a review or somehow let me know that this is touching you and then you'd like us to continue doing it. See you next time on the TPM Show.